We all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Don't make 2024 the same as 2023. How about not starting off with simple, mindless goals like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or I'm cutting out sugar and sticking to this new diet.
Stop the cap.
We don't need false promises. What if I told you that one of the main reasons why people don't hit their fitness goals is not because they don't lift enough weights, although that does matter. It's not because they don't do enough cardio, although that definitely matters as well. And it's definitely not because they just don't stick to their diet. It's something deeper than that. The truth is, until you know the reason why you're not doing one or all of those things, you have no chance of doing any of them. Over the past year, I dove all the way deep into advanced biomechanics. I've worked with so many different people, everyone from professional athletes to beginners. Men, women, boys, girls, everybody. And there's a couple things I noticed that keep popping up, including my own fitness journey as far as what causes people to hit the glass ceiling and what causes people to break through it. I spent a lifetime playing all three major sports at high levels, and I racked up a ton of minor injuries and some major ones as well. But when you're ambitious and driven and you want to reach those goals, you just dust it off, get back on the horse, strengthen as much as you can, and keep moving. And that served me well for the majority of my life. But as you start to reach a certain level of excellence and you're trying to break through, you start to notice that there are certain limitations that won't allow it. What if I told you that addressing those issues is one of the main reasons why people don't reach their goals? If you follow me, I've been talking about technique from day one. Technique is the key to muscle activation, muscle development, strength development, and progress in general. But after working with so many different people, you start to notice trends that pop up. Even professional athletes have mobility limitations, and that will hinder their strength goals and their performance goals. Well, guess what? Not only can that lead to injuries, but it also tends to create a glass ceiling that's very difficult to break through. You see, you can't outmuscle your postural limitations, and the body is so adept at compensating for these limitations, many times you won't even notice that you've just fallen into a second or third or maybe even a fourth level of compensation. The more levels of compensation that you've gathered, the steeper the climb out of that hole that you're in. Many times these are very subtle. People will have poor posture in terms of a forward head position or internally rotated shoulders or an anteriorly rotated pelvis, and they think there's nothing of it. And you don't always have to necessarily fix those things, but what you don't realize is that's the core of your body. The funny thing about the body is we've been talking about it as individual parts that can be managed and repaired. But the more you learn, the more you realize that's not true. Everything you do to one part of your body has an effect on the rest of it. Something as simple as a pain in your toe could alter everything about your mechanics. Oh, you don't believe me? Next time you have a pain in your toe, pay attention to how you walk. I bet you change the way you walk just a little bit. If you're changing the way you walk and putting different pressure on your foot, that's going to affect your shin and how your shin rotates. And guess what? If your shin is rotating in an improper fashion, that's going to put a lot of torque and pressure on your knee. And then once that signal from the ground is coming in awkwardly to your knee, your hip is probably going to adjust to try to help create that rotation or get into the position that you're not really able to get into because you're hiding from it because of your foot, and so on and so forth, all the way up and down the chain. So why does that matter in 2024? Like I said, most people have a glass ceiling. Most people have physical limitations, and they just feel like if they could just muscle through it or just push a little bit stronger, they could get those results they want. If you're bench pressing or doing sit-ups or squats or anything like that, or even just running on a treadmill or on a track, if your body's not functioning properly, you're not going to get the optimal results that you're looking for. It's that simple. It's like I said, technique is everything. So what are we going to do differently in 2024? How about before you start climbing up a hill that you're bound to fall down, how about you pay attention to your posture? Pay attention to the way that you sit. Before you go out on your next run or before you go into the gym for your first workout of the year, do not neglect a quick foam roll session just to bring blood to your tissues, make you feel a little bit loose, raise your body temperature. Think of it like a pre-warm-up. Don't neglect some dynamic and active stretching to try to get your muscles and your joints moving and sliding and gliding, number one. And number two, to give you some feedback to where your current limitations are so you have an idea of what to work on. Don't just jump into a workout and try to reach your goal on day one. Remember, you need to set yourself up for success. I want you to use that warm-up and that dynamic mobility to get the feedback and understand where your limitations are. Then you're going to use that as a blueprint. This is how you're going to build your workout. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you alone and make you do it all by yourself. I'm going to be posting a lot of mobility drills and functional postural restoration exercises that you can do that will help you as part of this warm-up and help you identify some of the issues you need to work on in 2024. And I promise you, this small adjustment will change everything about the way that you approach your workout and just might help you break through that glass ceiling that you never thought you could. Remember, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. The littlest things can have the biggest impacts. And don't forget, stay hydrated. Happy New Year, yo.